right, it is still 6:30 on November 11th, 2024. We're going to open this meeting of the McGregor City Council with the consent agenda. Actually, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's stand in place. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now to the consent agenda. We have the minutes of the October 14th, 2024 meeting. They were included in your packet. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the City Council meeting on October 14th, 2024. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? That motion passes. Okay, we have public comments. We have Les Marshall. Is there anything you'd like to speak on tonight, or is there an agenda item you'd like to speak on?
The second item, I think it was on there.
Okay. Okay, discussion and possible action regarding request received from the nonprofit Texas Theater Board regarding the closure of 3rd Street between Madison and Main from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on December 7th, 2024. We'll go ahead and open that item. And Mr. Marshall, would you like to go ahead and speak?
I am a board member of the museum board, and we just wanted to let you know and have any questions you might have as part of our starting to make people aware of the work that we're going to be doing in regards to the Texas Theater. And we wanted to be a part of the community in some way, and we thought with the parade coming down the street, what better thing to do for a theater renovation than to have a movie. So we are going to be setting up an LED screen right here at Madison facing Main Street, and showing some cartoons right before the parade comes by, and then after the parade comes by, then we are going to be showing It's a Wonderful Life for Christmas people. We're going to have some popcorn, selling popcorn and hot chocolate and that kind of thing. And then also, while we're there, just making people aware of what we're going to be trying to do over the next few years to try to raise money and renovate the Texas Theater.
All right. Does council have any questions for Mr. Marshall?
We've had, I guess this street's been closed 3 times for movies in the past. They used to do, not movies in the park, but movies in the street out here a couple of times. It worked pretty well, wasn't too hard to deal with. I do have a street light right there that I'll have to put a bag over for you, and we can do that. That's not a problem.
Okay.
But that was the first time we didn't catch it.
No.
Created some issues, but after that, the only other problem they had a giant blow-up screen over there, and it just about took off on with the windy night. So it was, but everything went well, and it worked out real well. It was real popular.
We've solved that problem with an LED screen, so on a truck, so it won't blow away.
It wasn't during the parade; it was just summertime stuff.
They've set the parade for themselves.
Yes, they have. Yeah, they changed it a couple of times.
All right. Well, that was my next question was, what does staff have to say about it?
All good.
All right.
Put barricades up, have police available. That's what we do.
All right. Well, I will entertain a motion from council.
move that we approve the request from the nonprofit Texas Theater Board to close 3rd Street between Madison and Main from 4 to 10 on the 7th of December.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
If I'm a board member on this particular board, do I abstain or does it matter?
Financial interest, do you?
No.
You're good.
Okay.
All right, hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Agenda item number 3, hold a public hearing on final replat for McGregor OT Lot 3, 4, 5, and 6, Block 3, also known as 214 Hayes Street, McGregor, Texas, MCAD 137375.
Good evening, council. This is a request for replat. Right now, the plat, there's not a home there. This is an older Google photo that they have a large 120 by 120 parcel here, and they would like to split that into 2. So currently it's a 14,400 square foot tract, and they would like to make it 2 7,200 square foot tracts. It is zoned R6, so the minimum lot size would be met, and then there would be some minimum building standards to meet the R6 requirement. Water and wastewater in front of these here on Hayes Street, so readily accessible, and a possible good infill candidate if they meet the requirements for infill.
Okay, hearing that, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing at 6:38. Is there anybody here to speak on that? Not seeing anybody, we'll go ahead and close it at 6:38 and go to agenda item number 4, which is discussion and possible action regarding final replat for McGregor OT Lot 3, 4, 5, and 6, Block 3, also known as 214 Hayes Street, McGregor, Texas, MCAD 137375.
So are they trying to take 4 lots and make them 2 lots? That's what?
Well, the original survey work that was done, I don't know how long ago, had it as 4, but somewhere along the time somebody combined all of these together. So this is showing the old boundaries of the original lots, but it is, right now it's recorded as one big one. They want to split it down the middle and have this be 1 and this be 1.
So I'm saying, so you're making 4 lots in the 2 lots? Oh, that's what they're doing?
Well, it's not 4 any longer, Councilman. It used to be 4. Somebody put 4 together to make 1
Okay.
at some point. I didn't research that.
But it was original 4 lots?
Originally, yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, way back when.
Yeah.
30-footers?
Yeah, those are probably the original old railroad.
Not meeting spec now.
Yeah,
But these are about 7,200 each.
they will be. Right now, it's one big lot of 14,400.
Zoning's R6.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of the lots over there are 50 feet wide. So
Mm-hmm.
What is recommendation of planning and zoning?
They approved it for replat.
And what is the intention of building on it?
They can only build single-family houses in that
It's a
zoning right
single-family
now.
home, huh?
Mm-hmm. Y'all remember y'all took duplexes out of residential zoning some time ago.
I'll make
Absolutely.
a motion for the final replat for the McGregor, my eyes are working. Whatever that says. Also known as 214 Hayes Street, McGregor, Texas.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. That motion carries.
To encourage them to
Do what?
make sure you offer them the info.
Yes, sir.
Explain it to them.
All right, item 5, hold public hearing on final replat for McGregor OT Lot 7 and 8, Block 14, also known as 207 East 6th Street, McGregor, Texas, MCAD 137456.
And this one is a little bit unique. Currently, the entire piece is one family, but there are 2 houses on the entire lot. The intention of the current owner is to ask for the plat to be split down the middle here so that they can sell this house on the corner. They do have a little bit of an issue back here. At that point in time, this neighbor to the south built an awning with some concrete and is currently using it. The assumption was that the original owner of this house put a fence here, not on the property line, and they assumed that the property was theirs. The people that are trying to buy the corner house have made there, I don't know is, but the request is to split this right now, sell this. If it's split, then both lots will still meet the current zoning. If they end up to do sell this to this gentleman, then that makes this one below our zoning, but that may be a variance that I think we may have to allow just based on the history and how long that has been existing in that R6. Yep. So the history that was explained to me that at some point in this area, and I don't know, apparently there was a bar or something, and there was a lot of broken glass that would come up when it rained, and that's why he put the fence here, so his kids wouldn't get into the broken glass. Yeah.
All right, at this time, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing at 6:43. Is there anybody here to speak on that? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:43. On to item 6, which is discussion and possible action regarding final replat for McGregor OT Lot 7 and 8, Block 14, also known as 207 East 6th Street, McGregor, Texas, MCAD 137456.
Question I have about that. So, you know where you're talking about side goes to Garfield Street,
Mm-hmm.
where the fence was at. So, was that the property line for us where that property actually, remember they had a fence, they tore it down now. So was that the
Right here.
Or they just
Are you talking about?
on the be on the side of the house that they're talking about selling?
The property line, that's an 80-foot right of way. So if there was a fence closer to the street here, it was in the wrong place. So that may have been why they took it down. But that's an 80-foot right of way. Good buffer between the asphalt and where the actual property line starts.
So the house they want is going to talk about selling is the one that's 2 Garfield Street.
Right on the corner of
On the
6th
corner.
and Garfield. Yes, sir. Right there.
So that'd be, but those houses now are sitting on 2 different lots, right?
When they split it, it'll be different lots.
So they sitting on the same lot now?
Yeah, somehow they got two houses on one. Or the home tells me it's been like that probably like 40 years.
And how many?
40 years. McGregor has some interesting history.
Yeah, some of it ain't promised.
I like part of the glass.
Because I'm not understanding how they would houses on,
Yeah,
houses on
unless
one
they-
lot, a residential area on,
Yeah,
on 2
bought this
one
lot and then combined.
All right, does council have any further
Well,
questions?
that would have been some kind of way of proof, because if you'd have had a code and
Mhm.
all that, ain't no way that could have happened for two houses
Yeah,
on the, one lot. Just put one right there, one single lot.
yeah,
That's why when I first saw this in my paper, and I was reading, I'm thinking that there should have been two lots,
yeah.
So,
Any further questions? This time I'll entertain a motion.
Final plat, McGregor of lot 7 and 8, block 14, also known as 207 East 6th Street, McGregor, Texas, MCAD 137456.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? That motion carries. Move on to item number 7, hold public hearing on final plat for Adeline Crossing Residential Development, MCAD 135028.
So this project, we went ahead and kept it on tonight's agenda because we published that. But planning and zoning tabled this one. There was not an official application shot clock to get this approved, but Walker Partners reviewed this engineering, provided comments back last week to the developer and the engineer. There's about 4 full pages of things that they need to fix. Jacob, to speak to it if we're operating off the wrong floodplain map, have some drainage issues that were the biggest culprit that they needed to address. But we should see all that rectified in this project back for review next month. This is Amsler Park is right here. This is the piece of land that was part of the AMA Hall last year. This is Indian Trails. This is Willow Way over here. So this is the Tawny property. So it's just that acreage there that being farmed for a while.
Note for future, when we first did Indian Trails a long time ago, there was a second entrance that came out of Indian Trails into this area. And before Indian Trails got done, that street built a house on it. That's why Indian Trails only has one inlet and one outlet, which is a big no-no. It used to be 50 houses or less, and they're over 50 houses that's required, and then I want to say it's 35
35. Yeah.
houses or less. So in the future, when you see this kind of stuff, you gotta have that secondary access.
All right, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing at 6:49. Is there anybody to speak on that? And we'll close the public hearing at 6:49. And we will move on to 8. Discussion and possible action regarding bids received for demolition of A106 building located by 1101 South Johnson Drive.
Good morning, good evening, council, mayor, sorry. I know, man. So we are asking that council will reject all bids due to a clerical error. We're gonna rebid the entire project, but if you don't know, the old green building out by A100, that's got known asbestos on the building, so we have to have a special way to dispose of the materials, so it was out for bids, but due to the error, we're gonna need to rebid it, so we ask that you reject the bids.
So we need a motion on that.
I make a motion to reject all bids on, do I need a demolition of A106 building located at 1101 South Johnson Drive.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. That motion carries. Item 9, discussion and possible action regarding approval of ordinance O-23-2024, an ordinance of the city of McGregor, Texas, amending Division 2 drought contingency plan of Article 4, water of the Code of Ordinances of the city of McGregor, setting forth the city's drought contingency plan, describing 3 stages of water conservation and water use restrictions, providing for variances, providing for pro rata water allocation, and providing for enforcement and surcharges.
Council, you did this not very long ago in policy format, and then it came to our attention it has to be done in ordinance format. So you're doing the same thing again, because we didn't catch that, and of course, I think Angela and Charlie caught it.
Yeah, this-
We did, we completely took out what we currently have, and this is gonna replace everything.
Cleans it up a lot.
And this is what happens today. Either has to go to the state in resolution or ordinance format for them to accept it.
Long time ago, we chose to put it in the code through an ordinance, so we just decided to do it that way.
Does council have any questions on this? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 0-23-2024.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, nay. That motion carries. Item 10, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution of votes cast to elect directors for the McLennan Central Appraisal District for the year 2025.
Is that in there?
Yeah, there it is.
Lady nominated Ben Perry, I think it's probably, what you want to vote on. Pretty important for us to get Ben back on.
All right, well, Kevin, would you like to speak on that a little bit more?
I think you ought to put Ben back on this group. This is your, directors from McLennan Central Appraisal District. You've only got, how many votes total? You can't do the selecting anyway.
I think it's 84 votes is what we
What, we only have 30.
Yeah, it looks like 34.
had. Oh, 34. School district's got some.
34 votes.
I make a motion that we, give all 34 votes to Ben Perry. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to grant Ben Perry all 34 of our votes. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. That motion carries. Number 11, discussion and possible action regarding a budget adjustment to fund local spay and neuter programs.
You're gonna love this one. We're getting a lot of pressure from cats. Cats. Have several, well, 2, maybe 3 basic areas where we've got way more cats than there needs to be. And we need to, I just call it a catch and release program, but while we have them caught, we spay and neuter them and then release them back in the general area for vector control. I've done this once before in Huntsville years ago, and it worked like a dream. Of course, the scale was way higher. You got a lot of college kids, you got people just walking away from their cats all the time from college, and you had a whole lot of drainage areas in that town. There's 7 hills, kind of like Rome, built on 7 hills and 7 valleys. And so there was a lot of wild area through the town, and they were really important to vector, but they got too numerous, sick, just all kinds of issues come with it. we're nowhere near that, but we do have some pretty critical areas, two of them not very far from here, and then one of them across town a little ways. But we need to deal with it, and what I'm asking for is some of the contingency. I'd like to get about up to 35 grand for this first year to see where it goes. We'll probably do an agreement with the ABC clinic, Animal Birth Control Clinic out of Waco. Most of the towns have an agreement with them, or several of the towns do, and they provide a service. The problem is they get backed up occasionally, so I don't want to do an exclusive, obviously, and I don't think you can. There is a mobile vet that has just set up operations out here on Spiegelville Road, has been over here several times, done a couple of clinics, and they've agreed to work with us on some of this as well. So what I'm just looking for is a movement of, say, 35 grand out of the contingency into police, along with the other animal control funds that we have over there. And that's the ask.
We have to say that we will let you move that budget adjustment over there.
Only because it's out of your contingency. If it was within if I could have got James to give up another patrol car, we wouldn't have had to do this, but he's kind of getting stingy.
I know it's very needed.
So that means if we don't move that money over, all the cats have to go to James's house?
I'm afraid he'd say yes, and I don't want that either.
All right, does council have any questions? At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the budget amendment from the contingency fund to fund the local spay and neuter programs. And, 35,000. I second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? That motion carries. We'll move on to item 12, which is closed meeting pursuant to Chapter 551 Texas Government Code in accordance with the authority contained in Section 551.071 legal and Section 551.087 economic developments. And we're going under both. So, all right. Discussion regarding economic development negotiations, including commercial or financial information received from a business prospect seeking to locate, stay, or expand in or near the city of McGregor, and to discuss economic development negotiations and or to deliberate the offer of a financial or other incentive to a business prospect. So at this time, at 6:59, we will go into closed meeting. right, it is 7:50. We'll go ahead and go back into open session. Agenda item 13, discussion and possible action regarding Project Powers Corner. It was discussed in closed session. I will go ahead and entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the Project Powers Corner. Was I to say the amount? The economic development, agreement with 75,000, to be allotted within that time frame, a specific time frame.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Sherry.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, nay. That motion carries.
Oh, was I supposed to say the name of the business?
I don't think so.
So it's gonna be the McDonald's, if anybody is watching and listening, it is a McDonald's coming to McGregor. McDonald's, I'm just kidding.
All right, item 14, announcements from the city manager. All right, request comments, is that possible? Request comments from the mayor and/or city council members. I would like to say something real quick. We are here on November 11th, a federal holiday. Half of the city council are veterans. Many of the crowd, many of the crowd in the chambers are veterans. We
Thank you for your
should not
service.
be here right now. I would hope that this would not happen again.
Ryan, get that? That was a P and Z function, we're sorry.
All right, anybody else?
Mayor, council, I would like to, I had it on my notes here because it is Veterans Day. And I just, on my part, and I'm sure the rest of us that are here, again, thank you for your service and for all you've done for our country. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate you.
Well, speaking on behalf of most of the veterans, I can't speak on behalf of all of them. It was our pleasure.
And one thing, the cemetery did look beautiful on Veterans Day. It was very clean, you know,
Did you do that, or did you help do it at all?
we appreciate it.
Cemetery, Parks people did it? Parks.
Very impressive.
All right, anybody else? At this time.
One thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just one thing about the shed on the parks down there, I mean, on the, not cemetery. I don't know if you've noticed, but, you know, a lot of the, it's looking good and all of that, but you know, there's a lot of low hanging trees. You know, like especially a pickup truck. You go right through there and spray top
She's,
up.
Cassie's got a high lift truck for several projects this month, and that's one of them.
And
Go
then
out there and start
you
trimming out the trees.
can- on either side, like when you're going down through the road, it'll, you know, you think you're missing it, you go that way, but it's scratching the top
Yep.
of, like a pickup truck, any kind of tall vehicle. Everything else is looking good, but just that's one of the things.
All right. At this time, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting of the McGregor City Council at 7:54.
Yes, sir.
That was a public comment.
Well,
Go back to comments on that comment.
all right. Well, we will not adjourn at 7:54, and we'll go back to public comment. Please come to the mic,
My name is
state your name and your address.
My name is Alton Smith. I stay at 201 East 3rd Street. I moved into my grandfather's house, and the water had a leak in the pipes. So the code inspector, I don't know, somebody sent somebody over there to my house and got some property off my porch, but my neighbor saw it, stopped him. And he called the code inspector, and they came and put a red tag on my door. Okay, you can't stay in the house without water, I understand that. So I come up here to talk to the people in the water place. They told me that I didn't have a leak. I got a past due bill. If I pay the bill and give them a $250 deposit, they would turn my water on. Okay, I gave them $816, Mayor. The bill was in a dead man's name, been dead since '97. It wasn't my bill in the first place, but they charged me his bill, $500 and something. Then they made me pay a $250 deposit. They sent somebody over to the house. He turned the water on. I checked it later on at night, no water. The next morning I come up here, I said, well, I don't have water. They said, well, you have a leak. Well, I told you I had a leak before I gave you my money. I told you that I'm saving this money to pay the plumber. I'm dialysis patient, I'm disabled. I get a small check, $619 a month. I got to save for this. So the code inspector don't work with me. But they would not give me my money back because they said that it's on the house. It's on the name of the person, Willie Washington. My name is Alton Smith. And then they settled that, they wouldn't give it back, so I'm out of $816. Then I get a bill 2 weeks, 3 weeks later for $149 with no water, with no sewer. How do I owe you $57 for sewer, $37 for water, $30 connection fee when it's not connected? I haven't used a drop of water. So I don't understand. I came back, they say it's standard fee. How is it standard fee when you have a lock on my meter? I'm not using this service, but you are charging me for this service. And then they tell me that it's a $30 connection. It's not connected. I paid you a $250 deposit to cover all that. You still charge me $30 more? So they did take that $30 off. But they still charged me $119 for some services that I'm not getting. And if people coming in and paying their bill, Judge, sir, my bill with no water is higher than 5 out of 6 people. Their bill $120, $119, mine's $149 with none of the services that they're charging for. So the code inspector was there again. He said, well, I understand what you're going. They did tell you was no water, no leak. I'm gonna work with you. Said that. I said, well, I need to somebody to turn it off so they'll stop charging me. So then I said, well, I need to get my deposit back. They're gonna take that $119 that they still taking from me out of my deposit. They taking people money for no service, sir, and that's not right. I don't have no money to just give away. And I want to come up here and complain about it. Somebody needs to do something about this services over here. And then the supervisor, she got a bad understanding. She come out there talking all crazy and everything. I said, man, you taking my money. I'm telling you, I don't have it. You know I don't have this. Well, we don't tell you you don't have a leak. I said, that lady right there told me, got on that computer and told me there was no leak. Just pay this past bill and I will have water. Get the code inspector off of me. But there was a leak. So it seemed like if I told you it was a leak, you should refund my money. I'm not getting no service. You shouldn't charge me and send me a bill 3 weeks later for $149 when you know I'm not getting water, I'm not getting sewer. Now I can understand you should charge me for the trash pickup and the brush pickup. I get that. That's all I get. I don't understand how I got to keep paying you money for services that I'm not getting. Now, do that make sense to you, Mayor?
No, absolutely not.
You don't?
Andrew, he is in your ward, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in my ward, but nobody approached me about that.
Right, no, I'm asking you to follow up.
Yeah, I'll follow up, but if I'm not aware of something, that's one thing you got to understand. Anybody.
Well, I was waiting. I didn't know what time, and if I hadn't seen Mr. Davis here, I wouldn't even know how to come in here. I've never been to one of these.
Right. Well, Mr. Henderson, is your...
Mr. Smith, one of the things, and that's not saying you got to do that, but the main thing, like everything you most stood up there and you told the council, one of the things, you always have the right to come up here to the council and get up and speak. But if you came to me, and there's a lot of that where you stood there and presented all that, where if you came to me, not saying you got to, you have the right to come up here and do just like you did. But then I could have brought it up here to the city, come to the city as your representing your ward, looked into all that and came back, because the main thing you want to get it resolved. So it's not a matter of how you get it resolved, it's a matter you get it resolved. But if I'm not aware of it, if I'm not being aware of it, then I can't, it's nothing I can really
But
do.
I never had a water bill in my name. I don't know how
Yeah,
it
yeah.
works. And I would've came and talked to you, I talked to you anyway, but I didn't know what to do. I'm dealing with the people that's charging me the money and trying to explain and asking them how can they do all these things if you know I'm not getting the service? How can I owe you $149? I bet your bill wasn't that much.
Well,
You got it.
I understand the process, what you're saying, I'm just speaking up to the rep
Well,
because you know, where you could've went
Way
about it.
more Smarter than I am.
Yeah, could've went about it and still, cause main thing you wanna do is get it resolved, so,
Right.
you know, not that you have the right at any time to come up here and come before the mic and speak on public comments, so, but the main thing is, if it's something that you feel is not being done fair or whatever, which is, the whole thing is getting resolved, not a matter of who or whatever, so I'm just saying, so that, yeah, okay,
Okay, so Andrew and Kevin,
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
yeah.
okay. So I can expect y'all to follow up and,
There's a lot more history here.
okay. Well, let's get this resolved then. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so now we'll go ahead and adjourn at 8:01. Y'all have a good evening.